85% of people prefer text over email and phone calls because they want to engage in a conversation. All text messaging is not equal. Customers respond to people, not bots. Be more like people and start having conversations that end in conversions. Use Scipio.
You're listening to Steal This Idea, the only podcast that didn't forget about murder hornets. So last summer I put in a fence in my backyard, and I got 99% of it done, but I didn't put the gates in.
Yeah.
And it was like just like the tail end of summer, so it's getting cold. And I was like, you know what? We're not going to go outside too much later. I'm not worried about my kids right now. So I just left the gates. And finally, I got to put these gates in. And I go to put them in, and they're like 6 inches too wide.
Oh, so you have the gates.
I have the gates.
You just never install them.
I just never install them,
Yeah, yeah.
And I got them from this place like an hour away because they were so much cheaper and better than everywhere else.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't have a truck, and it didn't fit in my minivan. And so I had to go find somebody, let me borrow his truck. I load it up. I drive up an hour away, and they're like, oh, sure. Yeah, we'll cut it for you. No problem. Cut it. That takes an hour. So I'm in Roy, Utah, the middle of nowhere. Take it back. They've cut it 6 inches too short now. I would rather shoot myself.
How do they cut it?
Well, it's like steel reinforced.
Oh, right.
And
so it needs a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. Anyway, today's been like a long day.
Yeah. A lot of just dealing with stuff.
Anyway, my kids have been horrible. But
really? Why?
Well,
just that time of the year.
I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, so I'm getting the best sleep of my life.
Yep.
Jack, my 3-year-old, he's in that stage where he's just like, he's finally getting out of bed and waking us up at 5 in the morning. Like, hey guys, what's up?
That's so funny because I think it was Jack, but Joy, we were at a party recently, Scott and I, and Joy was saying how good Jack is about sleeping.
It's like,
did it just change, or was Joy lying?
It literally just changed.
Because like really, Joy was like, he's so good. He just sits in bed. He doesn't get up and bother us at all.
Like it's like at 8 o'clock, he'd knock on the door and be like, hey guys.
He probably heard Joy say that at the party. Was like,
that's it.
That sounds like an opportunity for a man.
And then Archie's 1, and like 1-year-olds are just tough enough.
Can we talk about Archie going platinum blonde overnight?
Dude, summer baby, man.
Dude, it's crazy.
I'll post a pic of Archie. He's about as cute as it gets. Anyway, should we maybe
let's do a podcast?
Let's do a podcast.
You're a thief and a liar.
I only lied about being a thief.
Steal.
Lie.
We're gonna steal the ship.
Commandant, Lord Lieutenant.
An idea that is fully formed, fully understood, that sticks.
Well, someone like you would just steal.
Ideas are bulletproof.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Steal this idea.
Hello again, thieves.
We're back.
We are back. Yeah.
One other thing I want to plug really quick before we get into the main show is the contest we're running right now for a Nintendo Switch Lite. It has been hugely successful. We've been seeing your tweets. We've been seeing your submissions for our ideas. 500 entrants. Yeah. And then because if you've looked at the contest at all, there's a ton of different ways you can get multiple entries. You can even get entries per day of participation. We have a bunch of different ways that you can enter yourself to win a Nintendo Switch. I would say with 500 entrants, everybody's got a pretty good shot at this stage. So if you're just barely hearing this, there's still 3 some odd weeks left in the contest. Plenty of time to win a Nintendo Switch. And really all you have to do is do things like visit our YouTube page and subscribe, retweet one of our tweets. Yeah. Lots of easy stuff that you should want to do anyway if you're a big fan.
No physical challenges.
Nope, none. But you can also, quick other reminders, is you can get 3 entries for posting in your work Slack.
We've gotten a strange amount of none of these.
Yes, none. Like literally none. I know that you all have work Slack channels, random, books and art, whatever.
Yeah, currently listening.
3 entries. And if you win the Nintendo Switch, you're going to feel so freaking proud. You're going to have done a good thing for Scott and me, and you'll have a brand new Nintendo Switch.
Also, Andre, this is kind of a unique episode in a few ways, because on this episode, we have a new sponsor. So if you go to our website, GoStealThisIdea.com, you could sponsor an episode.
Yeah.
And we got a request for an episode to be sponsored.
Right.
And per their request, I have to read their ad copy because that's what
sponsors do.
That's what sponsors do. So I'm going to read this to you here.
Yep.
And we will discuss after I read this. So this episode is brought to you by Casey Dupree. That's right. I said it. Casey Mother Effin Dupree. Ever need a friend with definitive answers to life's questions? Have you ever wondered what the middle of the road looks like? Have you ever needed to know an interesting or useful bit of information? Casey is that man. As a public figure on Instagram with tens of followers And an avid golfer, Casey comes in clutch when you need it most. He listens, he talks, and he breathes. A truly inspiring person, this podcast strives to live up to the standards and fights to give voice to all those who need it. So
Casey Dupree.
That's Casey Dupree.
Sponsored by Casey Dupree.
Oh, now I'm supposed to give Casey a personal thank you. Thank you, Casey. You know, I've been friends with Casey for 3 years now, and honestly, it's hard to think that I've lived life without him. Please read from here. So
I'll give a personal thank you to Casey as well.
Casey,
We appreciate your support of the podcast.
you sponsored an episode. Yeah, any listener, if you want to sponsor the episode and have a little ad roll like that,
Yeah. If you want a little personal ad roll, that's fine. If you have a company or business, that's also great.
yeah, outside of a few, disqualified fields, like we're pretty open to plug just about anything. So
Yeah. Anything that we believe in. of course.
Anyway.
Plug and Premier.
yeah,
We like their products.
yeah, we do.
We also like Casey.
So with that out of the way, Andre, we got a great episode for the thieves out there. Andre's got the big idea. He is jumping in his little
It's a
pants
big one. It's a
about
good
this
one.
So I'm excited to hear about it. And then I've got to workshop this idea that I actually think is really fun. I almost made it a big idea, but I don't know if it's quite there.
I know.
I can see Andre being like, this is stupid. So
Really? Because I often find with your workshops that usually I'm like, this should have been a big idea.
I
So
know.
we'll see.
But before we get into that, let's start with a little good idea, a bad idea. Thanks to the Roots for coming in and
Oh, yeah. we love the Roots. Thanks, guys.
let's-
do have I should mention we have a little bit of a studio audience today.
there they are.
There they are.
We almost always record just me and Andre, but Andre decided to
Yeah.
bring
I decided to bring some friends along today.
a pack of thieves.
Yes, a pack of thieves, loyal listeners to the podcast. They have a guest mic. They may or may not decide to chime in with contributions. We'll see. If not, they will just be smiling and nodding.
Maybe if they don't, maybe at the end we'll force them to say something.
Yeah,
just so they
that
at
would be
least-
good, I think.
All right, so let's do good idea, bad idea. Andre,
Me first?
Let's start with you.
PocketTalk.net translates sight and sound in the palm of your hand. Basically, I got an Instagram for this product, and it hangs around your neck, and it can do things like scan signs and things like that and translate them. So maybe you're in Japan and you want to hold this up to, it kind of looks like a maybe very simple smartphone or a very small smartphone.
It looks like a Moto Razor, but when it's closed,
Yeah.
and then it just doesn't open. It seems like it's or like a Palm.
Yeah, exactly. And basically, it's just a smartphone that only does, it does have 3G connectivity, but it only does translation.
Interesting.
And it's smaller than a smartphone as a result.
And you're supposed to hang this around your neck?
That's where I saw it, but I'm sure you could just easily put it in your product, put it in your pocket, and take it out, show it to people. This seems, I thought, kind of cool. I don't know where you're landing on it. So it's $299.
Yeah. I mean, I think this functionality on its own, like, is obviously cool to be able to translate stuff.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, a phone can do this all as well, though.
This is where I'm having the issue here. I'm like, well, what exactly is the differentiator here? Because they don't really go out of their way to be like, and this is why we're not just a phone, because obviously you could do most of the stuff on a phone, especially at the like a $300 price point, which is like,
Yeah.
if this was like, hey, this works everywhere no matter what, and the battery lasts for 12 years or whatever, like, okay, like I could see some advantages there, but I don't know.
I don't know. For some
slick.
reason, there's something cool to me about a dedicated device that just does translation and it talks out loud. I think it does talk out loud, so you could potentially say into it, "Can I get a large Coke?" and then hold it out and it'll say it in
hold it up to the vendor's
Japanese
face.
or whatever. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I like that you can just, throw it right up and it'll translate a sign for you.
I guess like I've done exactly that with my phone in Paris before.
I know. And I did the same thing in Paris. And that's why I kind of was like, is this really necessary?
But
I did the same thing in Mexico. I mean, basically everywhere I've been, I've just used my phone.
I do like, to your point, I do think that it's having a dedicated, it would be interesting to see the trend of, we have these phones that do everything, but they're kind of jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And to see how devices might be like, well, we do just this one thing, but really great now.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if the industry will move in that direction with things like this.
And I mean, at $300 and always like 3G connectivity, you might ease some of the pain that's like constantly needing to figure out your network when you move country to country.
If this had solitaire on it also,
That would be dope.
That would be
if it had like a quick game,
just a quick little Minesweeper or something like that. Because you get back to the room.
and if the battery life was also dope.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually am not seeing any.
They're hiding.
I know, which is not good.
That's not good.
It's not good at all.
So
it
Pocket Talk.
says-
So I like the name. I love the website. The value prop I think is fine. I could see this maybe appealing more in international markets where maybe awesome smartphones aren't like the norm, and getting this is like maybe at an aggressive price point for somebody in the right country. But
if you were traveling a lot of different countries, you might like this. If you maybe were traveling with people without smartphones, like your 13-year-old, and wanted to give them the ability to.
That's not a bad point. It's like, hey, I'm going to give this to
like we all have phones, and then we have one Pocket Talk that we kind of pass around. For people to use
and like
as needed.
Someone who's old enough to be like, hey, go to the market and get something. Here's the Pocket Talk. Like, and I have my phone. Like,
It's an interesting proposition. You can't really build a $1 billion business on like, because I mean that's the same as like, we have one Garmin in the family that we kind of trade around. That's Pocket Talk. I think it's an interesting idea, and it also seems very futuristic to me to live in a society where you can have a thing in your pocket that like instantly can connect you with anyone. That's kind of cool. I know that's basically your phone.
I will love there's going to be a time, I'm convinced, where like smart glasses are just everywhere. Because I think they've tried to do it a handful of times, and I know Apple's working on something right now.
Yeah.
When that becomes mass market where you can get text messages just into your glasses.
Well, and a product like this, where it's like you look at a sign and it translates
this is
it
what it
immediately.
Man.
Or like you're having a conversation, it takes in the audio, it translates it shows you the translation in your eye. And then you talk out in English and it tells you what to say in the other language. There's a lot of things that could work there.
Love it.
But no information about battery life. I want to say I went like deep in the specs. Wait.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So they have continuous translation time, which is 4.5 hours, and standby time, which is 2.5 days. So if you don't use it at all, 2.5 days. But if you're translating, you get 4.5 hours. I mean, I'm certainly not like aghast at how long it is. I don't think it's too short that I would say, wow, this is now a useless product, but it's not as long as I hoped.
I almost think this would be better as like an e-reader screen where it's like, I don't need a nice LCD screen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's kind of what I hoped it would be.
Oh, we got a guest. Oh, hold on here. I think you're actually good.
Oh, okay. They actually offer two versions of this. If you look on the website,
Bring the mic
Pocket
in right
Talk.
to your mouth, Abe.
Oh, they have the Pocket Talk and the Pocket Talk Classic, which is exactly what you guys are describing right now. So it's $100 cheaper, and it's that cheaper kind of like almost ink screen or like a lower quality screen, and the battery life is like 7 hours and 240 hours of standby time.
That much more appeals to me.
Closer, but 7 hours is still not what I was hoping for.
You can charge that if you're on a 5-day trip. You charge that twice, and it has 240 hours.
You're
of
probably
standby.
not translating constantly.
Exactly.
No, you definitely aren't translating
the only
constantly.
feature you really seem to lose is that connectivity, maybe, and then you like the 3G. I don't know. And then the kind of understated thing you guys missed on that one, I think, is the picture translation. Like sign translating is really kind of cool to me. So that's what you lose with the Classic, but I think that's what came first. Oh, it does have data as well, so that seems kind of a little bit more
For $200 for this little tiny pocket guy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm more into that personally.
definitely same. Cool. That was my contribution.
Okay. Well, let's move on to mine here. This I saw, and I was like, this just reminds me of something that Andre would like for some reason. So this is called Pico, a garden in your palm. Growing is fun again. Now, I know right off the bat, it's an Indiegogo.
Yeah. So I'm out immediately.
So you're out immediately.
But the concept
is basically, it's like it's a little grow kit. You've seen these before. You put a plant thing in, and it has a little light on top, and it grows it. But these are kind of retro futuristic-y.
Yeah, they've got a nice, like, sleek plastic, neon colors, all those different things.
Yeah, like to me, if you're gonna have, because we bought one of these before in the past, a little herb garden type thing.
Yeah,
we used it once, and then we
didn't refill it.
Didn't refill it because it's big and it's ugly and it's bulky and it's like. Ew.
But these are cute and attractive.
Yeah, they're kind of fun.
Yeah,
and I don't think maybe you could do herbs, but it seems like these are all kind of aloe and some small.
I like it. So what's the price point? Looks like
the back.
It's really hard to understand these. So $29 It's the super early bird and gets you 1 unit.
Yeah. Or it looks like 30.
But I mean, it looks like there's a bunch of early birds because that's how they do these things.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This one I see as $34, but Pico.
So that's one thing. I will say on the drive down here, I was shopping I thought it would be cute to have a little chia seed garden element in my house.
Yeah.
And was having a really hard, so I go on Amazon to do the whole thing. And on Amazon, I can get chia seeds, easy.
Chia.
Exactly. And I can get potting soil. And then when I got to the planter, so what I want is a really long, low planter.
Yes.
This is what I want. Finding that was very, very challenging.
Really?
And the other thing is I think that there should just be a company that makes planters in like every possible dimension.
Yeah.
Like a tall, long one, a short, stout one. Yeah. And they're all like of maybe 1 or 2 or 3 attractive colors and finishes.
Yeah.
But you can get them in every conceivable size, because really what I would like is to say, okay, all the planters in my house are white gold.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm going to buy one for this windowsill and it's long and short, and one for this corner and it's short and round, and one for all these different areas. And that's something that I would be really interested in, because it was really hard on Amazon searching long, short planter and finding anything I wanted.
I will say the only thing I don't love about this, I'm trying to see if it has a battery. It looks like it extends and it can stick on the.
Can you imagine if you had to plug it in? Now?
Well, it's
got to have a battery.
But on the little GIF here, it pops up and then
there's a little cord,
wire coming at the top, and I'm like, is that?
That's got to be for the prototype, because those LEDs would run for a really long time on 1 or 2 batteries.
Surely, that's what I'm thinking.
There's no way.
If it has to be plugged in,
but even the top little thumbnail for their longer product video shows a bunch of units all strung together with a cord. Which ruins it.
Yeah. So
I don't think it's necessary, because I know that those little LED lights could go forever.
And I would pay more for something that was portable, because to me that's the value. Because
I want to just stick it on the wall and let it go.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to wire anything, for sure.
Anyway, so that I think it's interesting. I appreciate the design aesthetic of this, of taking something that is normally kind of stiff and lame and making kind of fun and interesting.
I kind of think this is kind of ripe for steal this idea, or rip off this idea.
Yeah,
just because really all it is an attractive planter.
Yeah, I think you could do it better than this.
I would even consider foregoing the little grow light. I wonder how necessary that is.
I don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
But if you gave me just cute little stick-on-the-wall plants, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then maybe a separate attachment for a grow light if you want one. That is even, perhaps, doesn't even need to connect. It's just another stick-on piece.
Oh.
That you load the batteries in on the top.
Yeah.
Stick it there, and then you don't even need this telescoping rod.
Yeah.
You can just have these kind of floating planters.
I'm into that.
And that doesn't seem... To me, the technology required there does not seem Indiegogo worthy.
No.
Yeah. Definitely not. Right? Like, you could 3D print, if you wanted to test the idea, you could 3D print these little stick-on planters in an afternoon, and then go onto Amazon and search LED puck light, which there are thousands of, and then just test if it can grow.
Yeah, how much you need.
How it looks, what kind of support do you need to attach it, all those things.
Yeah, so I think there is. I think this is an okay idea, but there's enough here to make it, I think, a good idea.
Yeah. Let's do my last one, and this one will be quicker because it's much less interesting. But essentially, this is stinkyfamily.com, and I'm going to say up front that stinky is one of my words like moist that I just don't like.
Stinky.
I don't think it's fun. I think it's annoying.
Yeah.
But these socks caught my interest on Twitter.
Stinky socks.
And essentially, they
look like...
I don't know. This is so weird because I literally was on this site earlier today. So you see that purple scented sock in the middle?
Yeah.
Earlier today, these were not called purple scented. They were called Las Vegas scented. It actually does say that. It says, we bet you can't wait to hit the streets again. So we added something special to the iconic design that brings you back to the 80s, a scent that takes you to Las Vegas. Inspired by the 80s, this is the perfect sock for everyday use. Longer upper band from ankle to toe. But basically, the concept is that they take socks and they infuse them with scents like 80s in Las Vegas.
with like the smell of like cigarettes? Like what is
That's
what is 80s Las Vegas
that's what I
smell
would
like?
presume is
Yeah, just like burnt in cigarette
cigarettes
smell.
and
If you polled 100 people and said, if this
what
was
does Las Vegas smell
Family
like?
Feud,
Cigarettes.
the number one result would be
Right. Can you imagine
cigarettes.
buying socks deliberately with the scent
It's
of
like
cigarettes?
gross rum, maybe.
It's weird that they don't get into what it smells like at all.
So what's funny is there's 3 socks here. It says the first one smells like Bear Mountain, whatever that means.
Doesn't mean
And
anything.
then it smells like Las Vegas. Okay, and the last one smells like Venice Beach, which is like
What is that?
When candles are like, oh, it smells like the beach. It's like, what does that even
That doesn't mean anything.
Like, does it smell like salt?
Yeah.
Like,
So to get through this quickly, would you ever? So Las Vegas scent is an obvious no-go, but does the idea of scented socks appeal to you at all?
no, I don't understand.
Really, I could kind of get into it if it didn't just wash away, which I don't know how that would be possible. But if these were like socks that smelled like lavender and it was built into the fabric or something,
I guess.
As a stinky guy with stinky feet, I would.
I hate that word.
I would definitely invest in something like this if it at all kept my feet or socks smelling somewhat
There you
better
go.
than the current state they're in.
So like a lavender scented sock.
To be clear, a smell reducing sock in favor of, but like a scratch and sniff type sock, like that to me just seems really weird. And I feel like you'd have to explain it and like, what does that smell?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my socks. Oh, did you step
It's
in
like, that's
something?
weird.
No, my socks are infused with this smell,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Overall, what's presented here is a good gag gift.
Yes,
And there's maybe some market research that you could do on scented socks.
yeah, I think it's a really interesting proposition for sure. And socks is a weird market. It's one of those spaces where once you realize how much socks cost to make,
Right.
and a company like Stance, which is like
Yeah.
literally just dominating the market,
Yeah.
like
With expensive socks.
with expensive. It's like people are spending $15 on a pair of friggin' socks. Socks are like the cheapest thing in the world to make. It's not hard to screen print on socks. Anyway,
without digging on Stance, they make really high quality socks that look great.
no, I'm just saying like.
Sponsor us, please.
Please, Stance, please. I'm just saying, like, it's not a surprise to see
Yeah.
lots of different sock people getting into the market, and to differentiate.
Scents make sense as much as like, oh, these are the butteriest, softest, which is what everybody else does.
Sense makes sense would be a great tagline, by the way. Stinky. Or
Stinky.
Sense makes sense. Okay, thieves, it is time to transition from the good idea, bad idea segment to the big idea. I'm going to do a little transition here. That's it.
I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
I just got nervous. I don't know why.
You did this last time. You had a really good idea, and then right when
And
you
I've been texting Scott all week, like, I can't wait to blow you away with this. But now, all of a sudden, it's like, I'm just not sure anymore.
all of a sudden.
All right.
But the thieves know.
Picture this.
Where's my pain point here?
Let's see. What's a home project you did recently?
Inside or outside?
Anywhere.
Well, I mean, I've been planting trees.
One that was hard, let's say.
So I've been planting trees, and that's been really hard.
Okay. For trees, was there a specialized tool?
Sure. Yeah. Well, we've been working on all of our gardens, and so
Like
yeah,
a tiller?
Yeah, we
you're
had
familiar
to
with a
use a tiller. Because we had to.
Do you own a tiller?
Well, we have a spade that we're like tilling.
Yeah, you were tilling manually, but you know that there are
Yes.
tillers,
Yes,
which might have been nice,
Sure.
right?
And yeah, we had.
Did you just have a tilling spade?
No, I had to go buy one
Okay. For this project specifically.
for this project. Yeah.
Do you see yourself using it again in the next 5 years?
I mean,
Eventually you'll get through your tilling projajects.
Yes,
Right? You'll
eventually-
have a bunch of planted flower beds. You'll have
Right.
done the work you need.
for the most, yeah, unless we decide.
I'm leading you. I don't know if you can't tell. Another specialized tool that you've used recently?
Would be maybe like a sander.
Do you own a sander?
We bought a sander to sand a dresser, and we used it once, and then we kind of just sits there until we.
Eventually you'll need a sander again.
Sure.
But who knows when?
Who knows when?
Yeah. Similarly for me, I bought a drill the other day, which most people have a drill. And I can understand that the average household needs a drill.
I use a drill often.
Yeah. But all in all, who knows how often I'll use it.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
have a bunch
and I would say it like I rarely use a drill up until I became like a big time homeowner, and then I use the drill a lot now.
Right. But what you're probably finding in home ownership is there's a tool for every job.
Yes. And you don't use most of your tools most of the time.
Often.
Yes.
Right. So we've been playing around with that idea. Shout out to Paige and Eric and Wyatt, who are three of my friends that I kind of workshopped this with in Google Hangouts. It's a great workshop session. So what I want you to do is go to borrowshed.com.
Oh, another website.
I'm obsessed with websites. I think I said this before, is if you were ideating on an idea, Thieves, you should sit down and try and build your one-page website for it, because what it will do is either make you super passionate about the idea because you'll write the copy and you'll feel how great the value prop is, or it will make you realize that the idea is complete shit.
Yeah.
So borrowshed.com. What we have here is save hundreds of dollars on your home projects and stop running to the shore with the store. With Borrow, save hundreds of dollars by sharing tools and power equipment with your neighbors for a low monthly fee. Start a Borrow in your neighborhood. We bring the software, Shed, you bring the neighbors. Essentially, what the concept is I go to Borrow and I say, I want to open a Borrow shed in my neighborhood. Scott, this is you, right? You have a pretty big backyard space. You could probably put a shed back there.
Oh, yeah. I have a shed.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, Borrow is going to come and move it. But one way or the other, you say, I want to start a Borrow in my neighborhood. And Borrow says, okay, go get 30 people to pre-sign up, right? So you go around the neighborhood and you're like, there's this company, it's called Borrow. And what they're going to do is they're going to put a shed on my property. They're going to fill it with power tools, with a sander and a tiller and a lawnmower and a snowblower and a leaf blower and a X and a Y and a Z and all this different stuff. And for $29 a month or $15 a month or whatever the market will tolerate, you can be a part of Borrow, right? And anytime you want, you can go to my shed and scan a code on your phone. You know, you go on your app and you say, I want to check out the tiller. Is the tiller available? Yes, it is. You go, you scan, it gets you in.
Unlocks the shed.
You check out the tiller. When you check it out, you take a picture to show the checkout condition. When you check it in, you take a picture to show the check-in condition.
Yeah.
And you get to be a part of this for one monthly fee. And you, as the Borrow manager, the person that puts it on their property, gets a cut of that.
I get a cut of the fee.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think?
Yeah, or I was going to, or have my fee waived, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think to me it makes sense because to me the Borrow manager needs to be the person in the neighborhood that's going around getting people in and keeping people in.
And it's on their property.
Yeah, and providing access to the property and all these different things. So yeah, obviously you're not paying for your own membership, but also you're benefiting by retaining people in your Borrow shed and by getting more people. One of the other value props there is like
borrower gets 3 borrowers beneath them.
I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it's also kind of true, right? Which is like, there's a maximum capacity of the Borrow shed. I don't know what it is. And probably you'd have to do a lot of analysis
What's the
to figure that
minimum,
out.
you think?
To me, it's got to be like 30. Don't you think?
That seems like
Does that seem like a lot to you?
I mean, so I'm a pretty social guy.
Yeah.
And I have a very, I can name more people in my neighborhood than I think the average person could name in their neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It would be like kind of hard for me to get 30 people, I think.
You think?
I could get 10 people easy.
Yeah.
And I think
But
I could,
30 people seems
I think I
pretty
could stretch
ambitious
to
you.
get 20. 30, it's not impossible.
Yeah.
But like 30 kind of seems like, oh, man, I got to really.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the appropriate amount is or how the revenue works out.
You could fine tune that to figure out like what is
totally,
you know, and especially when you think about like what are the parameters of a neighborhood, like and my neighborhood is
well,
a
and I
very
think
cookie
like
cutter.
initially, Borrow managers really need to go out and solicit memberships, right? But in a more advanced, like where Borrow has more name brand, then you might go to the site and say, find a Borrow near me to join. And that would probably be better. But I think your initial like startup phase probably requires that you have guys in neighborhoods that will take the shed and are willing to hustle to make a little side income and also to bring a great service to their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right?
And I guess to, no, sorry, continue.
Yeah. So I think ultimately what the model is a shed that Borrow puts on your property and fills with tools, right? And they're warranting all of them, and they're responsible for maintenance and all these different things.
Do I like put a request of all the tools that I want in there?
I think that it comes with like a standard set, because also part of this, I think, is Borrow might say, you know, we're going to put your newest leaf blower in Borrow sheds. And as a result, like they partner with brands that want to get product exposure.
Totally.
And, you know, maybe if you really like something from Borrow, you can buy it. Like Redbox.
Sure.
If you keep the DVD, then it's yours. So that might be one avenue, or just like to get better product exposure and to kind of get your name out there, you might say, put this in your borrow shed. So I think that in my perfect model, borrow has a list of things that they're going to send you, but then it's also adding things. Some of the other product copy I wrote is like new stuff every quarter. So they're always adding new things to your borrow shed to enhance the value. Part of that, which is like the more people you get in your borrow shed, the lower the cost can be for everyone. And they're managing the warranties and maintenance of everything that's in there.
Right.
So that's kind of the part that you're paying back to borrow.
It's like kind of insurance.
Exactly. Insurance and, the cost of basically leasing a bunch of tools.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think?
I love it.
We've talked about some idea. We had an idea on the podcast many, many episodes ago that was about sharing household essentials.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like toilet paper and paper towels and sugar and
we loosely talked about that.
Yeah, and it would never really develop the idea, but as I've been looking more into home maintenance and talking to homeowners and stuff like that, it seems like I said, there's a tool for every job. Well, many of which do not get enough use to warrant their price.
Well, let me give you a few examples.
Yeah.
So, personal anecdotes I think that tie directly into this concept. So one, very recently, I bought a leaf blower. And I hadn't bought a leaf blower in the past because they're like $100 to $200. And it's mainly to blow grass clippings, not even leaves. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get one. And so I go and there's 20 to choose from. Yeah. And ultimately I get varying everything.
Qualities.
I don't know, what is 20V, like all this horsepower. Like, I don't know if it's going to be strong enough.
And ultimately isn't meaningful. No, at all to you.
And so I end up getting one that's like, oh, this one's like $50. That's a good deal. And I don't realize at the time that it's a corded one. So you got to plug it in, which is like kind of a pain in the ass if you've ever had to use corded power tools, especially like outdoor ones. Because we basically did the same exact thing with our edger, which is like, I don't want to spend $150 on an edger. I want to spend $40. Yeah. But to do that, then you got to lug around an extension cord everywhere. Right. So it kind of sucks.
So something like Borrow would give you access to better standard of tool across the board.
Yeah.
For a lower price.
And same with drills, right? Like I have a drill. Yeah. My drill kind of sucks. And so I was trying to drill something into my house the other day and my drill wasn't strong enough. Mm-hmm. And so I had to go call my neighbor and be like, hey, can I use your better drill? And so this is like, no, you're getting like a top shelf across the board of a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So that's really compelling to me. I think there is a level of, I think you have the shed, but there are some tools or something like a riding lawnmower, I think is really interesting to me. Yeah. I would love a riding lawnmower.
That was a big one when I was talking about this with a couple of the people I brainstormed this with.
Yeah.
Was a riding lawnmower, which is not something that you need at all.
And could never justify unless I was very
not unless you have acres and acres of land.
Yeah, I got so much money, I'm like, I might as well buy one, Yeah. But
if it would be super convenient.
Oh man, if it was just like parked next to it and like you chain it up like a bike, I don't even know.
Yeah. However it's maintained.
But and that's the upsell package, right? It's like, hey, if you get 10 people, these are the tools you get. If you get 20 people, this is the type of stuff you get.
At this price point.
At this price point, here's the premium package where you're getting all this stuff. You get the snow blower, you get the fertilizer. Fertilizer is another good one where it's like, if you don't want to pay for True Green or something like True Green, which is freaking $70 a month, you got to get one of those little football things you see.
Yeah, exactly.
Kicking out fertilizer, and it's like,
this is a very low use item for me.
Totally.
And could easily be shared among many people.
And I think a lot of people they're like, yeah, I would share something, but there is this like, I bought it though. Yeah. And so there's this weird hesitation, right?
Which is kind of like where this is like a neutral third party.
Yeah. I actually think that makes it a lot more keen of like, I see what's available. I can check it out. And if it's like, oh, I can't mow today with this nice lawnmower, great, I'll mow tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or I'll mow this afternoon.
Or I'll mow myself because most people have a mower.
Sure.
Right. Obviously, in a perfect borrow world, you don't need one. But there are going to be things that you also, like a drill, right? You're going to want to own your own drill. But there is a huge suite of tools that you probably would use if they were available to you, that you would find a huge value in, that you just don't have. Yeah. Because you aren't going to spend $200 on a leaf blower when you don't even know the value of a leaf blower yet, right? I think that there's so much potential here. I think a couple of the other things we talked about was like rental insurance, where if you're borrow, right, where you can be like, and also add $2 to insure any damage that you might accidentally cause,
which is easy.
And I'm sure, we know that tacking on these like $1-2 rental fee charges is hugely lucrative.
Yeah.
But also creates a huge amount of just like mindset shift for the person that rents it, where it's like, okay, I don't have to worry if I add
insurance.
this, or I'm not going to add it, and I'm going to treat this really carefully.
Right.
I also just think the and this is one of the things I love about good big ideas is when all the technology is already there. Like it's not like, and we have to invent something. It's like really all this is a smart lock.
It's like coordinating equipment and I mean, you need some
so
capital.
there's software, and then there's the actual doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you got to be willing to invest in a couple of sheds and a lot of tools, right, up front, just to make the whole thing work.
Yeah, and like kind of a logistics system where you have a warehouse where all the stuff is, and you're having a driver go out and like.
Yeah, I think you definitely start in markets, like the Salt Lake market or the Greater Salt Lake metropolitan area.
Utah is a
good place for this.
It's a really good place for this because
we all have yards and we all have local community connections.
And the neighborhood in Utah, like because of the religious overlay, like there
is a distinct neighborhood that you're a part of.
I go to a church with 90% of my neighbors, and so I know so many more people than like growing up in the house I was raised in. I didn't know any of my neighbors because everyone,
So this is a great test market.
Totally.
And your logistics from a physical standpoint is how do I get a shed to someone's property and then fill it with tools? That's step one. And then inventory all of that.
Yeah.
The inventory management systems already exist. So how can you source them into an app? And smart locks already exist so that you can simply scan a code to get into the shed and it logs your ins and outs and things like that. Like I think that,
and then really just figure out that perfect price point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it is, you got to get 50 people.
What do you think is like your price tolerance?
Well, I think the $20 to $30 a month range, I don't think is actually that bad.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it might logistically have to be more expensive. I don't know.
That's the thing. It might have to be more expensive if it's.
There's some like paper math that somebody who should really.
And if it's like it only becomes cost effective if it's 50 people, it's like okay, well no. Like, I'm not going to find 50 people, even if I get a little kickback. Like, it's not worth it to me.
And then, like, does there need to be a contract length? There are questions that have to be answered from the accounting and financial side.
Yeah.
Because realistically, at $30 a month for 20 people, it's definitely cost negative until a certain point, right? But also, I mean, Borrow owns all the tools at the end, right?
Sure.
But they got to come and get your shed. So
worst case scenario, you just sell off all those tools.
Basically what I'm saying is what's good is it's not like, oh, we got to have everybody on the shed for 2 years before we make back all of our money. It's like, okay, actually the cost we have to offset is cost of marketing and all that and sales and stuff like that and the cost of actually getting the shed and equipment to you. Yeah. But when that's over, we take the shed and equipment back.
Right.
You're essentially leasing it from us.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, they don't keep it.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't have to go cost neutral on the actual equipment. So there's some financial and accounting work to do, but I think this is a good idea.
I like to start a Borrow in your neighborhood. I think that's a clever.
Right. Yeah. And I kind of like the idea of like having Borrow managers.
Yeah.
That are the local presence. I really think that's important.
Yeah, I mean it's a mayor, of your little zone or whatever.
Exactly.
I'd be interested to hear what the thieves think about this. Maybe we'll ask our audience, who are, I would guess, mostly not homeowners.
No, mostly not homeowners.
No homeowners here.
I think this is actually a really good idea, first of all. Second of all, I think
this is my spouse talking, by the way.
Yeah, hi.
I think this is actually a really good idea compared to all the other
I'm
ideas.
Probably the most critical of your ideas. That said, it's similar to like the same kind of stuff you're seeing now with like neighborhood is a good example of like that space, like rent your extra space for like people's stuff. This is pretty similar, right? I think it's that same vein of opening up your space or like your, some of the tools you have access to the broader community around you. Yeah. And I think it's working, right? Like Neighborhood's a pretty thriving company, and this is the same kind of model where it's that community presence.
Don't forget about utilize. Y-O-O.
Oh, yeah.
D-A-L-I-Z.
I love utilize. The other thing that we were talking about in our brainstorm session was how powerful this could be for like an HOA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, definitely. And also part of your HOA fee gets you access to Borrow. We put it on the HOA office. If you have an office, then you put it there, or just a prominent neighbor's lot. That seems huge.
I think this would be really interesting too if it were sponsored by like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and you were doing a project. You could just request lumber to be delivered to your garage or whatever. And if they're the ones redoing the tools,
there's tons of product integration.
Yeah, super easy upsell.
I mean, if I'm Black and Decker, I'm locking up a contract.
Yeah.
With borrow as soon as I can, right? Like
Exactly.
I'm getting.
I'm going to get tools to a bunch of people that normally wouldn't buy our caliber of tools, and I'm going to get them in homes.
Exactly.
So that people are like, I have this awesome Black & Decker or whatever that I rent.
Yeah, skill saw.
Like, oh, maybe we'll buy one because we're using it so much, or recommend it to a friend.
If the borrow goes away or they move or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's not available in wherever they end up. Now
Exactly.
it's great.
You've got a great consumer that never really felt the cost, and because of that, they're in a really good consumer position.
Yeah,
they don't have to deal with maintenance, all that stuff.
If you tie like some skill sharing into it too, I think it'd be interesting. Like having a tile cutting tool. Like, oh, I might not know how to use this tile cutting tool, but here's a video on how to use it.
Yeah.
Like that just made my Saturday.
Which I think
so much
part of the
easier.
app, it's like when you select the item to check out.
So here's some tips.
Ideally, and probably vendors are going to want to do that.
That would be interesting from an enablement standpoint of, this.
Like a tile cutter. It's like, I don't know how to cut tile, but actually I have one in Borrow that I can use.
And even, just best practices is like enabling people to like, hey, like use this better. Here are some best practices on this thing that you're, this
Or
tool.
hey, I noticed you're picking up this tool. Customers who have also picked up this tool have wanted to use X, Y, and Z before. Like maybe think
You're
about grabbing
preventing
that before
90
you go.
trips back to the Borrow to get stuff, which is huge.
The other thing I was going to mention before we move on is customize borrow sheds for certain types of things. So like a gardening borrow shed, I think is really interesting because there's lots of really gardening specific stuff.
Yeah.
Then a community garden. People like community gardens, just keep it there too.
Yeah, like a co-op type thing.
Yeah.
I think that could work really well. Indoor projects, outdoor projects. Like you could. There are some places where if I'm in an apartment or I have a townhome or a condo where I'm maybe not doing much outdoor stuff, but I have a lot of indoor tool needs. I'm putting up
Totally
a subway tile in my kitchen and stuff like that.
So your apartment complex goes out and they start a Borrow.
Yeah.
And they fill it with
mostly
stuff for indoor.
Mostly indoor stuff. Yeah,
totally.
So I think having little pods of projects.
Well, and I think what Abe kind of exposes with it, saying like, let's just put it at a community garden, is there are a lot of community spaces that would use this just as a
Put it in a
side
parking
thing,
lot, like,
right?
Literally, like you could put it there. You could put it in a high school parking lot. Like there are places.
Yeah, 100 different places.
Schools could be like a shop.
Exactly. That are not so tied to neighborhoods, and they kind of exist in that like third party ground area. And could kind of, and then maybe you have to take a little drive to your nearest Borrow, but it's not so bad.
Last thing I'll say on this is I think it enables new projects too, because I think about a time where my buddy has a house. We installed laminate flooring there, and like the biggest barrier was getting the thing to cut the laminate with. And so like that was just available to you. That's going to enable you to want to take on bigger projects because the tools are right there. And that kind of encourages more spend that way too. So
love it.
Good idea.
Scott, I kind of wanted you to be a little more excited.
Look,
this was a home ownership idea, a neighborhood idea.
I love it.
If I made this for renting kids' toys, would you have been a little more excited?
Don't come at me just because I'm not.
And also, there's an escape room in there. Would that have gotten you?
Maybe that might have gotten me.
Feels like it might have.
You're forgetting the fact that I drove 3 hours.
I know. I wish you'd said that and said just save your great idea for a idea.
No. I actually really like this, and I think the thieves would agree that this is a really good idea.
Twitter poll, coming up tomorrow.
We'll do a Twitter poll, and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, the crowd is really into the idea.
Good idea. All right, we're gonna
Let's move on
to the last segment here before we wrap up. Oh, actually, before I do that though, there's technically a second part to this ad roll from Casey Dupree.
Let's go, Casey.
Casey says, with all that, you stealers of ideas, we need to take a break and recognize Casey Dupree for sponsoring this podcast. You know, everyone, there was once a podcast better than this one. It was called Extra Guac. This podcast came from a segment on that podcast. But just like the title of this podcast, I stole this idea and ran with it. Trust me, though, that podcast was a lot funnier, with the exception of one Kenny Jones. We look forward to bringing Casey on to this podcast, just like Extra Guac in the future, and truly expand our reach.
Definitely. Also, Kenny's a great guy.
Kenny is a great guy.
So mean.
Casey's throwing shade. Casey Dupree, for the thieves out there who don't know, me and Kenny and Casey had a different podcast before this called Extra Guac, which is more like a morning show. Rest in peace, Extra Guac. There was some fun stuff there. But yeah, this podcast was a derivative of that. Still, this idea was just a bit we did.
Yeah.
And I felt like it deserved more.
Here we are.
Thank you, Casey.
Now I'm the co-host.
Now,
come at me, Casey. All right. You got a workshop, right?
I got a workshop.
Let's do it.
Okay. 2 quick anecdotes here,
Right.
or questions, I should say.
Yes.
And maybe the room can also.
I always feel really on the spot when we do these. I know I put you on the spot right at the beginning of my idea too, but
So
it's like I want to give the right answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
These ones are easy. So have you ever gone to Starbucks before and just ordered a water?
Yes. I like a large iced
Two
water.
days ago, I went for Andre, and he's like, just give me a large iced water.
Yeah. I get a large iced water all the time from places.
Right.
Yeah.
Would you say that the Starbucks water, maybe there's something about it that's like
There's something about it that's better.
Special.
For
it's
sure.
a little more
Water.
refreshing, right?
Yeah.
There's a similar phenomenon with Diet Coke at McDonald's. As in
And
really-
Coke
Yes.
at McDonald's,
And
both
Coke
those
just-
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is well documented.
Well documented.
That they have a special thing that makes it better.
So this is the headspace.
Yes.
We in Utah, we have a unique business layout here when it comes to
Soda.
Soda.
It's a soda culture,
It's a strange thing.
which is weird. I went
Swig.
to Swig earlier today.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Swig in like over a year.
And
It was fine.
it's fine.
You threw it away. half
Sponsor
full.
us, Swig. I did throw it away half full. Swig, I love you. Please sponsor the podcast if you want. The problem was the ice was not finely chopped enough. It was like I kept getting ice chunks. It's the worst.
We're now ice snobs at our house.
Yeah, we are.
So, yeah, Swig, So Delicious. There's a bunch of them, right? But it attests to this idea that people like to go out and get drinks. It's like part of our culture now. The downside to these places is that they're kind of unhealthy. We all know this, right? So what I'm proposing, there's another fad that's rising right now. LaCroix, protein water, sparkling water. I'm proposing an institution called the Water Bar. What the Water Bar is,
Yikes.
I know. It can be called something else. So a water bar is like a Swig or So Delicious, but you are getting flavor infused waters. So like the nice melon, infused cucumber, right? So you have some nice, using the same system that Starbucks and McDonald's use, which is like a hyper filtrated system basically.
Yeah.
And they're nice, tall, huge, chunky ice that just looks good. You can just see the fruit in there, right?
Yeah.
But I go to a water bar, I can get either just like a nice fruit infused water. I can get a sparkling water with lots of different flavors. We know how popular LaCroix is right now and all the other competitors of them. So you can get lots of different rotating flavors of sparkling water.
Yeah.
There's protein water, which is another trend. You go to Costco, you can get like a big 24 pack of protein water, right? So you have things like tea as well, which would also fit in well there. And I think as like a side dish, I think you do something like fruit kebabs as like a kind of a healthy, fun.
Agreed.
What cookies are to Swig. This is like a similar model, but completely healthy oriented.
Yeah.
I have several times been like, I really want to go get a drink somewhere, but my options are just soda.
Yeah.
And I would love to go and get a nice, exceptionally refreshing drink that, whether it's fruit infused, or it's a protein water, or it's a nice sparkling water that's an interesting flavor I can't get anywhere else.
Great.
And like your price per unit, it's going to be a little bit lower than soda because it's mostly water. But I think you could position it in such a way where it's like there's enough showmanship and enough pizzazz that like, you set a certain bar where it's like, people would want to go there and get refreshed at a water bar.
Yeah, I think interesting idea.
I'm trying to jack my show right now.
Really quickly, because I think this, what would really work well with this is like juicers, like I don't know what you call those. This would be like a fine product lineup for those to like, one, keep them open later, and two, like increase profit margins at a place that's usually pretty only offering one thing, like juice.
Just to also add a water bar.
Yeah, or just like put that into anything, because I think these ideas or these like businesses are popping up everywhere. We have one in Utah now that's like for cereal. It's like the same kind of thing, right? I think that you could pretty much position this anywhere like that.
Totally.
Which is an interesting way of going about that.
I think you could run it out of something like a snow cone shack. Also, you could make it really.
Well, I'll tell you where my head's at is, again, I'm trying to slowly convert the Sales Idea podcast into two spinoff podcasts. One is the Lost podcast, and two is the Las Vegas podcast. So to go to the Las Vegas podcast, in Las Vegas, there are these essentially alcoholic slushy bars all over the place. And they're really like 5 feet deep. And you walk by them, and what's attractive about them is these like big, flowing vats of delicious looking liquid, right?
Bright, colorful.
And what I'm picturing for this is something like that, where it's kind of like an immediate storefront that's not so deep, like a Crumble. And you walk by, and there are these huge like jugs of like water, and it's beating on the outside. That really refreshing water beating. And you walk by and you see there's like cucumbers floating in the water, and you're like, that just looks
watermelon, and there's
refreshing.
cantaloupe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like
Because what's
designed to look.
hard about a water bar is it's clearly not the kind of place that's very fun to like sit and have a drink the way that Starbucks is.
Yes.
But what would be huge is kind of that walk by. Oh my gosh, that looks so refreshing right now.
It's kind
Let's
of
go get a water.
It's kind of like getting a big lemonade at like a state fair.
Yeah.
Similar concept. You see it.
You see the lemonade and you're like,
oh man,
that looks great.
Yeah.
And I think if you can get that, you know, large glass window storefront with these big beating water jugs, that's like something interesting to me.
And it appeals to everyone. Like everyone drinks
What do you think
water.
the cost per
I thought
16 ounce Bev is?
Yeah, it's got to be in the $2 to $3 range. Like, like it has
I mean,
to
it
be,
has to be just to have a business.
Yeah.
Right.
So like that's
Yeah.
you it's an upsell play where you're trying to sell other stuff too and get large orders and you know get the ticket.
I'm also
price.
kind of picturing like it's a Froyo type self-serve experience.
Maybe
where you can BYO WB, bring your own water bottle, just like slot it in.
That'd be interesting.
Fill it up. Checking out.
Yeah,
I just seems interesting.
There's something to explore there for sure. In my mind, like you are positioning as like we have figured out the best fruit infused whatever, and especially sparkling water is like kind of hard. Like where do you get sparkling water? You know, other than a can or
exactly.
So if
and the thought of like having perfectly cooled sparkling water, very attractive.
Right.
And you can show it up a little, like it's locally made.
And fancy, right?
It's not just LaCroix that we pour it into a big jug. It's
crafted.
It's something fancy and crafted.
Yeah. If you play into the hydration portion of it too, like if you're anchored in like a Vasa or a community gym or anything like that, or an outdoor splash pad, like it would take off so quickly.
At a gym, it would be a pretty huge play.
Yeah,
it's like another gym.
Yeah.
The alternative to that, like there's already the day tanning booths right outside of the gym. You take that over and like
totally.
during
Yeah,
gym
it's the
hours.
strip mall spot that's always next to the gym.
Exactly.
It's typically a tanning place.
Exactly.
But tanning places, I doubt, are doing super hot.
Yeah. Kind of going out of style a little bit also.
Well, I mean, definitely. I mean, bed tanning is definitely going out of style, right?
Yeah.
Spray tanning is probably
that's
on the rise.
Thriving.
And really, they already have these like at the gyms, but it's like some big guy that's making you a wheat infused drink, and it's like that doesn't seem appealing. Like if I saw big water hydrating things, I'd be like, yeah, $3.
There's a
Like,
display
totally
element that's like so huge here.
Totally. It's a visual thing, and especially, and this is why I brought up Starbucks, is they have these big clear cups where you see tons of ice,
full of ice and crystal clear water.
It looks refreshing.
I know, and it's crazy, but there's something there.
There's something there.
Yeah.
So it's not just like a styrofoam, you can't see it. It's like, no, this is a display.
You see it.
If you saw someone walking around with a big thing that had fruit chunks in it, it was like a big refreshing water.
Like, yep.
Water bar.
Love it. Water bar.
Anyway.
I can see why this isn't quite a big idea. It's like, this would be a lame big idea.
Yeah.
But it's a great workshop, this idea.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the idea.
Love it.
Okay, we got a bunch.
Wait, one more quick shout out, which is for the contest. Just another reminder. Please, please, please enter our contest for a great Nintendo Switch Lite. Like I said, there's like 500, 600 or so entrants. There's tons of different ways to enter.
Still pretty good.
Some of them are like so easy, it's crazy. Get in there, share our podcast, promote our podcast, help us build what we're trying to build here, and get your chance at a Nintendo Switch.
Boom, 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 boom.
If you win the Nintendo Switch, I will give you my friend code, and you can play me in the game of your choice.
And that is worth.
My friend code is not publicly accessible.
Yeah, that's worth at least 10 Nintendo Switch Lites.
Easily.
All right, a bunch of shout outs to some awesome thieves out there. So first, well, I guess Casey Dupree, he sponsored it.
Casey Dupree, thank you.
Casey. James English, he has doubled down his efforts to listen to the show. He tagged us. He listens to us while he works out. Thank you, James.
Thanks, James.
Eric Taylor, he listens from Seattle. A shout out to Eric. He's sponsored. He loves the show. Josh Wood is my favorite fan. I've said this on the podcast before. Yeah. Josh Wood, currently my favorite fan. He sent us an email. It was like, "Hey, love the show. Here's some
detailed.
Here's some things I miss." He misses the kind of the intros we used to do. We're gonna start bringing those back. So shout out to Josh. You're the man. A different Josh Harris. He apparently listens to the show.
Great.
Thank you, Josh. Nelson DeMeester is somebody who I didn't know listened, but he said he loves the podcast. So he's making he put something on Facebook that he's making some game. He wants some beta testers. So I was like, sure, I'll play it.
Absolutely.
And he's like, hey, I love your podcast.
That's what we're all about.
Right. Janie Plaid, she gave us a little mini review on Twitter. She said that we need a new microphone, which
we do. We just ordered one.
We just ordered
Coming
one
soon.
It was supposed to be here, but it was delayed.
Yeah.
So next episode. Brian Barrett, new Patreon supporter.
Thanks, Brian. I saw that one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
And then Adam Eastburn
Adam Eastburn is one of our favorite people ever.
Yeah.
Truly.
He has designed a couple
amazing thief shirts.
Thief shirts. So we're closing in on final designs there. We're going to have a couple different options. So thieves, very soon you'll be able to get some sweet thief
I think
swag.
if we can get it in time, which I bet we can, I bet that we end up throwing a shirt in with our Nintendo Switch. Don't you think?
I think that
Maybe we'll even give away a Nintendo Switch and then also give out 5 shirts or something. The shirt designs are cool. They're not like...
Not lame.
They're not lame. They're not like the cheap camp shirts you used to get. They're nice shirts. We're excited.
Okay, that's going to do it for the podcast, guys. We'll put up the Twitter poll on Borrowshed and see what you guys think about it. If it's
Borrowshed.com.
Yeah, check it out.
Borrowshed.com.
If you want to look at Andres.
Worked up a website. Share it with your friends. Say, do you think this is a cool idea?
Yeah. Follow us on all our socials. Go to GoSteelCity.com. Support us on Patreon. Give us a like. And if you can write a review on iTunes, that's awesome for us. And we appreciate you, thieves. It's been awesome. We love you. And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Use Scipio, the #1 engagement tool for sales teams that want more responses, appointments, and conversations. Message your leads and customers where they are on their phone. I'm not talking about phone calls. We're talking about true one-to-one texting. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. Use the code STEAL at Scipio.com for 2 free licenses. See you later, thieves.